I'm going to try to talk about the second book in the Arundel Haven series. Book 1 was called Arundel Haven Book 1, Mordecai and Raven. And this book I'm talking about deals with Book 2 in this series called Queen Melalisa. Arundel Haven Book 2, Queen Melalisa. And the event in the story takes place about 8 months after the conclusion of Arundel Haven Book 1, Mordecai and Raven, when the dragon Shadowfire fell. And it introduces new characters. Some were introduced in the short story that takes place between Books 1 and 2, which is called Arundel Haven Savior's Day, which is, you can say, basically a Christmas story. But it introduces new characters, and those that were introduced in the short story include Mordecai's older brother, Randall, who is a junior at LSU. And it also includes both sets of grandparents of Mordecai. It includes his maternal grandparents, Gabriel and Naomi Epwright, who are born again Christians, and also his paternal grandparents, Jeff and Connie Jefferson, who are not. And other new characters included, who are introduced in the second novel, are Mordecai's cousin, Amelia Thornton, who was a sophomore at the University of Florida. And it also includes Queen Melalisa, who happens to be a sorceress and has a connection with Arundel Haven. The story takes place starts 8 months after the events in Mordecai and Raven. Because Mordecai is about to graduate, and at the time, Raven is about 5 months pregnant with their first child. And they attend the ceremonies, and they have the graduation ceremonies, which include Mordecai's paternal grandparents, Jeff and Connie Jefferson. The thing is, they're prejudiced against blacks, and they found out that Raven was a fairy in the short story Savior's Day, which I'm still working on at this point. And gradually they begin to accept Raven and accept Mordecai's marriage to Raven, despite the fact that Raven is black and is a fairy. And then the next day they go to Gainesville to visit Amelia. And at the time it's a summer break, and they're both happy to be reunited, Mordecai and Amelia, and with them is Randall's girlfriend, Hazel Helmsley, who knows that Raven is a fairy and knows about her uncle's quest to find Arundel Haven. And Hazel doesn't tell any of them that she is the nephew of Dr. Haman von Braun, who's obsessed with finding the fairy kingdom of Arundel Haven. And so they visit Amelia, but Mordecai, Raven, and Cece remain while the others go back home. And they're kidnapped. They wind up being kidnapped by some men and they don't know who they are or where they're taken to. until they're taken to a small town called Valhalla, Tennessee, which happens to be near some mountains. And there they hear the name of Queen Melalisa. And somehow Queen Melalisa finds out all about Mordecai and his family. In fact, Queen Melalisa's plan is to use the discontent among the people, the discontent, those are disillusioned with President Farouk's presidency. And she plans to rule America by having him replaced with her. And she plans to use the discontent and the dissatisfaction among the people. Because President Farouk pushes his own agenda, and he pushes his own federal health care, and it's much like Barack Obama is doing. In fact, President Farouk was based upon Barack Obama. But in the story, I don't mention like Republicans or Democrats, but do mention things dealing with the Constitution. But it's so hard to stay away from, but trying to steer away from all the political junk. But anyhow, Queen Melalisa tries to drum up support by using the discontent of the people. People are sick and tired of all the political mess, all the catering to special interest groups and unconstitutional laws. But Queen Melalisa does not plan to go by the Constitution, however, because she has her own agenda, her own plans. And she has pushed and tried to, and in the story, somehow she's cast a spell that is making the legislature put on the ballot a choice to either retain President Farouk or remove President Farouk and have him replaced with Queen Melalisa. Because all around in a lot of the small towns in the United States, she has a certain base, and she has different people casting spells to try to get Queen Melalisa into power. And the twist is, Queen Melalisa has an interest in Mordecai. She wants him to rule by his side, to make him her consort and to give her an heir. To which doesn't sit too well with Raven. And they find this out after they've been captured. After Mordecai, Raven, and Amelia and Cece are captured and imprisoned at the base of operations of Queen Melalisa. They're imprisoned there, and somehow they get that before getting cut off, Mordecai leaves a short message to his father. But while Roosevelt, Starla, and Twyla are there, Twyla senses that her uncle Mordecai had been captured and taken away. She senses that from far away, and from the brief message that Mordecai has left on his father's cell phone, they find out that they indeed have been captured, and somehow Twyla sensed this. She perceived this. And so Tony, who is Mordecai's father, has them return to Arundel Haven to deliver the message to Queen Cymbeline. And they get word And Prince Avondale agrees to go to the human world along with Queen Cymbeline's fiancé, Lord Zachariah, and Captain Terrace. The three of them have a fraternal bond with Mordecai. And so they go there. So they go to the Jefferson house, and they try to find out where Mordecai and the others had been kidnapped at. And they eventually find out that's in a small town called Valhalla, Tennessee. But before Prince Avondale, Lord Zechariah, and Captain Terrace could leave to find their friend, who should appear but Dr. Von Braun, along with his niece Hazel Helmsley. And they revealed to Mordecai's family that they knew about the secret. They knew about Raven being a fairy. And they knew about Raven's friends as well. And somehow Dr. Von Braun coerces Prince Avondale to have him join him and his party to rescue Mordecai. But in the end, Dr. Von Braun does betray him. And I'm going to talk more about the new characters in the story.